I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. All right.
Ms. Benitez?
Present.
Mr. Axiotis?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Here.
Ms. Stemper?
Here.
Do we have any changes to tonight's agenda? Please.
Yeah, I'd like to put a motion on the floor, reappoint Samantha Kropp to the Treasury Investment Board for the term of 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2027.
Sorry, that was to the Treasury Investment Board?
Treasury Investment Board, reappointment of Samantha Kropp from 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2027. It's a 2-year term for that position.
I will second that motion.
That's Mr. Axiotis and Ms. Stemper.
And then,
Please.
Want to vote on this one first?
oh, sorry, sure.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
That'll be added to new business.
Okay, now may I?
Please.
All right. We've all received the recommendation from Mr. Limbian regarding increased workload associated with prosecuting, and that's resulting in a shift in duties. So I'd like to make a motion directing the city manager to advertise for the position of law director.
I'll second that motion.
It's Ms. Stemper and Mr. Axiotis. Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stemper?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. That will also be added to new business.
May I go? I have two more. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Um,
please.
In light of that and other information that I think council really needs to sit and talk and figure out the direction we need to go, I'd like to make a motion to remove ordinance 2025-40 until further notice.
2025-40.
Yeah, I don't think 40 is on.
Oh, did I write the wrong thing? Hold on, hold on.
2025-57.
57, yep. Wow, I don't know how I did that. 2025-57.
I'll second that.
Ms. Stemper, Mr. Rufner,
Oh, here.
Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Then I'll try to do this one right. This is kind of piggybacked onto that, a motion to remove Resolution 14-2025 until further notice for the same reasons.
I'll second that.
Ms. Stemper and Mr. Axiotis. Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, we had a special presentation by the AMVETS tonight, but I guess we're going to move that back until the first part of December. All right. So next we'll go into public comments. These are for agenda items only. Limit of 3 minutes, please.
Hi, William George, George Jackson. I just wanted to speak a little bit. I see you are heavily committed on selling the transmission lines. I personally think it was a good thing. I know in the past, previous city manager and stuff was involved. At the time, I thought it was, I fought everything to keep selling it because I knew in my heart that it was a bad thing for the city because that person took that money and just spent it all. Now I see, I mean, there was a lot of cons to it. There was some or there's some cons to a lot of those, but I just think, you know, the city doesn't have the equipment to work on the transmission lines and stuff like that. I mean, we always struggled when I was here to keep everything going. So I think, you know, just looking at it from that point of view, I think it's a good thing. The poles, all the equipment's getting old. So if you have to pay to rebuild that line, you're talking probably $7 million probably. And that would have to come from the taxpayers. So, you know, all that's gonna do is just make the rates go through the roof. This is, I think this will help keep the rates down. Matt's got plans on getting the substation finally done. Because now they're having issues with that again. And that was something that I always brought up over and over and over, that substation needed to be redone. You guys have been lucky so far, I mean, knock on wood. I think it's a good thing for the city.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
John Barr, Northern Town. Thank you. I was against selling the transmission lines before, starting to piece out what we have. We've put some things on the back burner, yes, I understand, and it might, but I'm still against selling anything that we own. Why should we sell what we own if we have to do little by little? Look, first of all, we're buying equipment all the time. We can still buy a piece of equipment if we need it, or lease it, or rent it. I'm against selling anything. There's no need to it right now. That's up there. The other thing I'd like to speak on, did you just remove 27 to 1, the emergency ordinance on the regard rescinding ordinance 2025-40, did you just remove that?
Mr. Aiken, we
That,
should.
that was removed from the agenda.
I can't hear you, Mike.
Ordinance 2025-57 was removed from the agenda.
Okay. All right, well. Okay, all right, I'll reserve my other comments.
Julie Lemon, 609 Ridge Road. I'm up in the air on this transmission line thing. It's an asset. We always sell assets. Where's the money gonna go? As far as I know, it can only go in the electric fund. Where are you gonna use it? You're selling part of the asset for them. I understand it's gonna cost us money down the road if we don't sell them. Big fixes. I talked to Axiotis about that. Big fixes. But it's like you're saying, to me, it almost feels like the city is gloom and doom. We're not gonna make it all these years. We're not gonna be able to sustain it. Thanks for having faith in your city. But, furthermore, this thing about the law director, the resignation, I feel like we're paying way too many employees. Fritz was here, he was the law director, and he was the prosecutor. And before him. It's been there that way. All of a sudden, when Brad Bryan came in and Schrader came in, Schrader was law director, and he brought in guys to be the prosecutor, which I thought was absurd. Then Brad Bryan was here, and he didn't do any of it, and council permitted it. Can I do you a favor? Stop wasting our money. It's the position. Law director and prosecutor go together. Stop wasting the money.
Brian Kropp, 247 Elizabeth Street. Good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you for tabling those and removing those from the agenda. I appreciate it. I think that was a really good idea, and to avoid potential litigation or lawsuits or anything like that based on the language of those pieces of legislation. I don't know if anybody actually went through and read those. There were some serious errors in that legislation. The The resolution itself had an emergency clause in there from the transmission lines. I don't know if anybody read through that, but those kind of things are concerning to see. It's a lot of language, it's a lot of copy, it's a lot of stuff like that, but it has to be read through. Everybody has to understand what's going on there. So I appreciate you guys taking that down, and hopefully we don't get into any more litigation, we don't get any more lawsuits, and don't open ourselves up voluntarily for those things over ego or over wanting something so bad that we just kind of force something through. So I do appreciate that. And to talk about what Ms. Lemon was just referring to as far as the law director is concerned, my only concern is that the staff and the positions are being filled properly and the jobs are being done and people that specialize in things can do those things. As long as we're meeting our budget appropriations and requirements, we have enough money to fund these things. We need good people in good positions to do what they do and do it really well. And I don't care where they do that or how they do it, as long as they're serving the community and we're all getting something out of it. So if we need to split the law director's position into a prosecutor law director, so be it. I think we should probably have a parliamentarian here too to make sure we're doing things properly, procedurally. I think those things are really important. I did want to touch on something. As far as most of these ordinances and resolutions, everything that's on this agenda this evening, I really want to stress, I think it's important. I had the pleasure of speaking with my council person last night because of the things that you guys removed off the agenda, and I'm thankful that you did. But it was in reference to sponsoring agenda items and how things are getting on the agenda and how they're getting through. And I spoke with Ms. Benitez at length. We spoke for probably about 40 minutes, and she was very cordial and polite. I have nothing but respect for her. But I was very concerned, and I know she's a very honest, genuine, truthful person. I don't think anybody up here would question her integrity or anything along those lines. But I think she would admit, I don't think she'd be upset if I talked about this discussion. What was very concerning about our discussion was I asked her about the sponsor and about the co-sponsoring, some of these pieces of legislation that she's a co-sponsor on. I asked her to kind of articulate to me what these pieces of legislation were in reference to get her understanding, to know that she understands what she's signing on for. And she couldn't, and she admitted that. She was very candid, and I appreciate her candor. I even asked her if she understood clearly the difference between an ordinance and a resolution, and she was very candid and said she did not. So it's very concerning to me that I want to make sure that what we're doing properly, and we're doing legally, and we're doing things by the book. And I commend her because she came up here in a time when we really needed somebody up here, and she filled a spot, and she campaigned on two things, and she's accomplished those two things, and I appreciate her for that. But moving forward, I hope that we go through these things with a fine-tooth comb, we're paying attention, and we don't open ourselves up for any further litigation. We have people in place that are doing the jobs that they need to do, and everybody up there is taking care of their particular role and really just paying attention to what's going on. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else tonight?
Matt Evans, Electric Superintendent. So I was going to hold off, but thought maybe time to come up and clear some things up. That legislation on there, we're not in the business for transmission lines. Transmission costs us money. I don't know if you guys really understand how it works, but our transmission lines would come in, that's how we pay for our power. It goes to a substation, it gets knocked down to a different voltage, and we do it and we distribute it throughout the city. The 3 phases you guys see coming through town, that's what that is. So that's where we generate our funds from. If AMP entertains a deal to do this again, we're going to release a lot of debt onto them versus the taxpayers. Like Bill said, it's over $7 million to have to replace these lines. They're at the end of their lifespan. I know you know, Julie. We had the outage at the school. It's a big circuit. Milton tripped, had a relay out. Those parts are becoming obsolete. There's warehouses that store those, but once those parts are up and gone, they're gone. I have 2 circuits running on one right now. If that substation has any issues right now whatsoever in town, you're in the black. I have to take everything from that substation on Church Street, put it over on Warren Road, and then if we have one issue with that one, this whole sound's black. This isn't something I'm taking lightly. I've had a lot of time to weigh on it. He tried to do it for how many years? 15 years, and no results. So, you know, normally we can go out in this field and we see something, a line down or a tree or a squirrel, you know, whatever. This wasn't that. We had to go back and root cause things and find out, and ended up being a relay in the substation. If something totally different, this part broke, what's next? So, again, all transmission does is cost us money. I ran this through our engineers. There is really nothing bad about it. And I think it's something that needs to be done to get the funds to keep rates down for the customers. This is a good thing. We don't want to raise rates. We want to keep rates down and competitive. So you guys have any questions, I know you can't say anything, but I'll come back up when it comes up.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to reports. One thing I'd like to report is I've collectively, we've been after body cameras for the police department, and we've made 3 or 4 inquiries. The latest is to the governor's office to see if we can get some help there. So we're waiting on that, but our police officers desperately need those body cameras in this day and age. It not only protects the police officers, but also our citizens. So with that, we'll move on to council. Mr. Axiotis, do you have anything, sir?
I don't have anything,
No?
thank you.
Ms. Pat?
Not at the moment.
Ms. Jolie?
I would just like to say that per our charter, Section 3, Article 3, we had nobody file petitions and run for Ward 3. So we are going to need to appoint that position. If Mr. Acomb can make sure that you have that out on our webpage to advertise for candidates for Ward 3 to consider filling that position. That's all I have.
Mr. Burke?
Through the chair, I don't have anything.
Mr. Rubner?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Ms. Jamie, do you have anything for us?
Sure. Just a couple of minor, I guess you could call them minor areas. The Enbridge gas line replacement project. Enbridge Gas, with the help of Miller Pipeline, will be installing those new gas lines in Newton Falls starting next Wednesday at 7 a.m. Miller Pipeline will be working from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and sometimes even on Saturdays. I've attached a copy of the finalized map to everyone's information. This is what they will be following, the route they will be following, and the project is going to start on Church Street, and it impacts customers. The impacted customers will have 2 to 4 hours of gas interruption during this process as they are shut off and turned back on. Letters were sent out to the gas customers by Enbridge notifying them of the replacements, and Enbridge anticipates this project is going to last at least 2 months, with some of the restoration and repairs to restore things, the sidewalks and things back to normal, lasting until early spring. Scott Street Sewer Project, still moving along. Trumbull County Sanitary Engineers started the communication process between the residents who are tapping in, contractors providing the service to the residents, and our wastewater treatment plant. Residents who are not receiving financial assistance from the county can now get contractor quotes started and plan for their installation of their sewer lines. An administrative update, we did have a power outage in this building. All of the electric panels in the building are old and need replaced, but one has failed and we're kind of limping it along. So on November 21st, we're going to be closed to the public in this building. This panel is going to result in potential for a fire hazard or something if it's not replaced. So we're going to shut it down, and it'll take about 8 hours to get the power back up and running in parts of the building. And the last thing on mine is just the Area Chamber of Commerce is going to do their annual tree lighting and Christmas parade on Saturday, November 29th at 6:30. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Limby, I seem to have skipped over you.
Did not, sir. Everything's fine. Nothing to add.
All right. Chief, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, sir, I do. In October, the police department handled 259 calls for service. There were 36 traffic stops, and the department is currently conducting several investigations. All of these investigations are requiring numerous man-hours between multiple officers, involving interviews, follow-ups, and search warrants. The police department received a donation of homemade cookies from a 4th grade student at Newton Falls School during the power outage when the school was shut down. The student said she wanted to show her appreciation to our department, which was very nice of her. She came up with her grandmother. The police department received multiple donations of candy from several businesses in town for Halloween and trunk or treat. We'd like to give a special thank you to Dollar General, Shop and Save, IGA, and Falls Convenient Mart for their donations. On November 5th, the farm stand on Canal Street donated several baked goods to the police department. We shared those along with the clerk's office upstairs. We would like to offer them a special thank you for the sweet treats. On September 25th, the DEA National Take Back Drug Program was conducted, and we turned in 42 pounds of unwanted medication to the DEA out in Boardman. Also on the same day, officers and auxiliary officers were present at the Kiwanis annual cakewalk. Later in the evening, officers participated in trick or treat by passing out candy while on patrol. And October 30th, the police department, we set up a table at the Newton Falls Elementary School for the trunk or treat, which was a great success. Issues with the e-bikes and the e-scooters are still going on. Officers have been advised to stop and inform the citizens and children of any potential violations prior to issuing any citations. And also, instead of calling their parents, we ask them to please let their parents know if they have any questions, they can call us. Multiple officers have been sent through updated training classes as part of our commitment to providing the absolute best service to the community of Newton Falls. New policy and procedures are in the process of being updated. A new field training program is being created, and the police department is actively working towards becoming part of the Ohio Collaborative community to ensure we continue to pursue best law practice enforcement policies and continue our spirit of transparency within the community. The Phila Cruiser event is scheduled for Saturday, November 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. Officers will be stationed at IGA and Shop and Save. In the past, this has always been a successful event thanks to the generosity of the community. And finally, the Newton Falls School District and the Police Department have been working together to help students learn useful life skills. Students have assisted in maintaining the Police Department's 40-acre training range by mowing grass, edging the concrete along there in the shooting lanes, weed eating around the property, and cleaning up the spent brass that's been missed and the trash. The students have been supervised by the principal, staff members, and the superintendent. This has been a very successful program, one we hope to continue to build a strong relationship between the police department, school district, and our community youth. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We'll move on to item 8, which is approval of previous minutes. This is regular meeting minutes, October 15th, 2025, and special meeting minutes from October 22nd, 2025.
I'll make the motion. Approve both.
I'll second.
Sorry, Mr. Exiotis and Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Item 10, public hearings. This is ordinance 2025-48. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for cleaning services with Fresh Clean Balance for village facilities. Okay. All right, ordinance 2025-49. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase a Kubota SVL 75-3 HVWCC skid loader with attachments from Middlefield Farm and Garden for use by the electrical department. Okay, ordinance 2025-50. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with OHM Advisors for the development of a comprehensive plan for the village of Newton Falls.
Julie Lemon, 609 Ridge Road. So I have a little bit of a concern about the comprehensive plan because we've had them done in the past. We paid the money for them, and it's never followed through. I mean, it doesn't stick. And it seems like the town spent an awful lot of money on things that I don't think we really have money for. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why Mr. Boriak, when he was council, he wasn't for the comprehensive plan because nobody ever sticks to it. And I feel like that's a lot of money to waste for a plan no one's gonna stick to.
John Barr, 660 North Canal. I'd like to speak too on the comprehensive plan. For the amount of money we've spent, and it was stated on council floor, we've never used it one time the last time. I feel that money could be better spent. If this council that's elected can't see what's wrong with Newton Falls and what it needs critically, why buy a dream sheet that you're not gonna ever be able to do anything? Buying houses, making parks. It just never worked out before. Are these the only three we're gonna speak on, or when I turn the sheet, I'm allowed to come back? All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I guess I'm going to be the odd man out here. I'm absolutely thrilled about this comprehensive plan and excited about the potential future for the village. As someone who's been on the zoning board, have seen the previous comprehensive plan. This was intent that I had hoped to kind of get into and revitalize or kind of review the previous plan. But having spoken with the city manager, there was an idea to pursue a new comprehensive plan, which I support. I think that the village needs direction. The village needs a map. We don't have a map for a direction to go in. We need to know, and this isn't just, when you put together a comprehensive plan, the previous comprehensive plan was done by the county. So I don't advocate for that. I much prefer to have a third party, an independent third party that has something to lose from doing a poor job than being a government agency or something along those lines that we paid money to, and it is what it is. They delivered the plan, we had it, we did nothing with it. Unfortunately, over the last 11 years, I think since 2014, since that plan was implemented, none of the councils previously did anything with it. So there's no finger pointing or anything like that. It sat on a shelf. As soon as that comprehensive plan was created, it was sat on a shelf, and here we are now. This comprehensive plan, I hope, and I'm advocating for you guys, I support this, and I hope you guys will support it too. I hope that this will lead to more engagement, more involvement from the public. I hope that there'll be some kind of a survey or something along those lines where we can gauge what the public actually wants, and then the council can give their input, the staff can give their input as well, and then we'll have a collaborative, like a coalition essentially, in a direction to move in. Also, if I'm not mistaken, and I hope somebody maybe can speak to this and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that OHM will provide grant services for this particular plan. So, and if I'm not mistaken, when they gave the presentation previously, I think they had like a 90% success rate or 90% rate of return as far as grants are concerned. So that's a very positive thing. I don't see this as a bad thing. Money spent on something that will give us a direction that we can move forward with. This council, the next council, the council after that, so we have a map to move forward with over the next 25 to 50 years that we've never had, that we've never utilized. That's on council. That's on council, the administration, and the public to take advantage of this once we have it in place and it's there, that we use it and we take action and execute on that plan as best we can. So I advocate for this, and I hope you guys will pass this tonight. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, ordinance 2025-51. This is an ordinance authorizing certain amendments to appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and authorizing the finance director to amend and file a certificate of resources with the county auditor. All right.
Oh, there's one.
This, I feel like we've had this type of thing's been on our agenda repeatedly, and I would really love it, and not just for myself, but for just in general. Kind of an explanation, if anybody would, that would be fantastic. Kind of just explain what this means, what this refers to, what kind of appropriations we're talking about, what changes have been filed, just to give an overview so the public can understand what this type of legislative item is, because this has popped up on our agenda multiple times. So just to give an overview and some insight as to what this actually refers to, so the general public can have a better understanding of how this impacts our finances, what this actually means. So don't just assume everybody knows what this means, and because this is what everybody does, and I know our finance director / city manager, also finance background, understands this, but present it or provide some information in layman's terms, ultimately, like treat us like we're fifth graders. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? All right, we're going to move on to item 10, unfinished business. This is ordinance 2025-48. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for cleaning services with Fresh Balance for village facilities.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Stempert and Ms. Benitez? Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, next is ordinance 2025-49. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase a Kubota SVL 75-3 HFWCC skid loader with attachments from Middlefield Farm and Garden for use by the electric department.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Axiotis, Mr. Burke? Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, on to ordinance 2025-50. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with OHM Advisors for the development of a comprehensive plan for the village of Newton Falls.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Rufner, Ms. Benitez?
I just have a quick
Please.
Just to kind of follow up with what Mr. Crop had mentioned about this. So OHM will do the comprehensive plan, and we will collaborate with multiple, our residents, hopefully some people with some historical background for our village, school district. There's like a list of people I have in my head that I've shared with Jamie that this will be a very collaborative thing. OHM does have the means to do the grant writing for us, and they're successful. And a big part of that grant writing that Jamie has shared, and we've realized we need relevant data. We don't have that from the comprehensive plan that was done 15 years ago or whatever it was.
Right.
So there's lots of pros to this, and it's needed if we're going to try to get grant money as well.
So, I mean, if I may address that as well, that comprehensive plan, as they go through and they develop the comprehensive plan, it makes it different than what was done at the county, because from what I've been told, I don't have the history, there have been projects that have been completed here, like street paving, for example, where it has been completed 1 year and then there's a water break beneath that paving project and it's had to be ripped up the next year. When OHM does the comprehensive plan, they identify underneath the structures. If there's water lines that need replaced, those get replaced first, before the paving. If there's some other problems that are identified prior to going forward with plans, they make sure that everything falls in line. And then they take it for the 10-year period that they have been contracted for. They identify where that funding is needed, what is the most critical, what funding sources are out there, and then they will go out and pursue grants or assist you with the pursuit of grants to help pay for projects. And as Brian had stated, they do have a high success rate. I think it was 87 to 90% grant monies and combined with local revenue versus trying to handle street paving or the building of a water plant or whatever it is that we may need on our own. They find us funding, we have to come up with the grant or the additional match. Sometimes it's 100%, but it just depends on what's identified. But without that plan and without that direction, we're heading blindly into projects that may or may not have to be ripped up later. Thank you.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, on to ordinance 2025-51. This is an ordinance authorizing certain amendments to the appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and authorizing the finance director to amend and file a certificate of resources with the county auditor.
So moved.
Ms. Stimpert, Ms. Benitez.
If I may, to address Brian's comments, I do agree that at times these come onto the agenda and the public's not aware of what these are for. As a finance director and also as moving up into city manager, we do communicate these to council, and perhaps there would be a better way to communicate these on the agenda. But if you were looking at this appropriation amendment, say for Fund 204, Parks and Rec, the increase for Parks and Rec is due to fuel purchasing for mowing in the summertime, something that can't necessarily be planned for ahead of time. We just have some additional costs. So then if you move down, Funds 215, and that fund increased due to some additional court cases that were processed. We didn't know or realize that we were going to have the police department return. You have the opioid settlement here. Again, the police department returned. We spent those monies to help educate the public on some drug-free areas and activities. The electric operating fund, this coincides with the purchase of the skid steer that was requested through the appropriation measure. And the electric debt service, again, this is something that perhaps could have been planned at the very beginning during the budgetary process, but these are the AMI payments for the meters. The electric debt service has to be paid, so if there's not enough appropriated, we'll see that that's running a little short, so we appropriate additional amounts. So again, maybe in the future, we'll add a few details so that makes it a little more clear for the public. Thank you.
All right, item 11, we're going to move on to new business. Sorry about that. Let's get the vote going here, you guys.
Sorry.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Now we're on to new business. The motion for the proclamation honoring the military, that's going to be moved until the 31st, right?
No.
No?
May I?
Yes, if
So
you would,
we're-
please explain this.
The proclamation is being presented, that's what this motion is,
Okay.
that's all.
All right, so that, but it's going to be moved to the 31st from the,
No,
we're not changing the date.
no.
Okay,
What's being moved is the presentation.
okay.
This is, this motion
Motion, all
explains
right.
it, yep.
All right, so this is a motion to approve a proclamation honoring the United Military presence and service to our community and to announce the intention to present the proclamation to representatives of the AMVETS Post 112, VFW Post 3332, American Legion Post 236, and the Ohio Army National Guard, who are anticipated to attend the Newton Falls High School Veterans Day celebration event on November 11th, 2025.
So moved.
I'll second.
Ms. Stimpert and Mr. Exiotis.
May I have it addressed?
Please.
Okay, so now that we've confused everybody. We have a proclamation to honor and acknowledge, I believe we are the only town, village, city within Ohio that has all 4 military branches represented. So in my work with trying to develop the signs for the historic district, I've been involved with our government teacher at Newton Falls High School, Mr. Colsimo, the Brom History, African American History Museum in Braceville, and this all kind of got connected. And Mr. Bogus from the high school was talking to me, and so I thought it would be, instead of presenting this here at the council meeting, we will hopefully approve this the way it's written, and then it will be presented to the military branches during the high school presentation.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Next, we have ordinance 2025-52. It's an emergency ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Walters Paving Company for paving improvements at the wastewater treatment plant.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Exiotis, Mr. Rufner,
Mayor, if I may.
Please.
All right, again, this is for down at the wastewater treatment plant. They've got some serious issues with the paved area and the access road going down there. With the weather obviously going downhill, we need to get this taken care of. We need to get this done. Plus, our bids are only good for 30 days. So that's the reason for this being an emergency, is to meet that requirement. If it is not passed as an emergency, then we have to go out for another 30-day bid, which could be higher, which would change the context of the ordinance itself or the appropriations for that ordinance. So, yeah, we need to get this taken care of before the weather gets too bad. We don't need any additional wear and tear on the vehicles, both ours or those coming in, so. All I got.
I'd like to ask the auditor, you mean this is new legislation, and you're gonna pass it under emergency and not give the public at least a chance to speak on it?
He's not able to.
I mean,
John,
we do have a
John,
chance to speak.
John, you'll have a chance in public comments.
What's that, David?
You'll have a chance at the end in public comments. John, you gotta let it go here. You know, you know the procedure now. You've been mayor and a council person. But this much I'll explain to you. If you have been down there at the wastewater treatment plant, you'll see how bad that road is. And
That doesn't mean, why didn't you
John?
take care of it earlier?
John,
Did everybody get a chance
John.
to bid on it?
John, stop.
All right, I'm sorry.
All right.
You're trying to go around in circles.
But anyhow, if anybody wants to take pictures, wants to see pictures, I've got them on the phone. I was down there Sunday to have a look at it, and the driveway down there, it's bad. So, with that said,
In addition to that, the wastewater treatment plant did get 3 separate quotes for this project. It's below the state bid requirements. So really, it doesn't have to be publicly bid, but he was holding off till closer to the end of the year to get it paved. So that way, he made sure there was enough money in his budget to do it and still not have, funds be short because he had an emergency repair. So he did wait, and that, that did result in him having to do it in this manner. But like I said, it isn't something that has to be publicly bid.
Jamie, was that the lowest quote?
Yes, it was by a lot.
That's all I wanted to know.
It was by a lot.
This is public knowledge.
Yes, you're welcome.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
and Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Mayor, this requires a second reading.
ordinance 2025-52. This is an emergency ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Walters Paving Company for paving improvements at the wastewater treatment plant.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Rufner and Ms. Stimpert. Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Okay, we're on to ordinance 2025-53. This is an ordinance establishing the annual operating budget and setting forth the appropriations for the year 2026.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Exiotis, Mr. Rufner.
Please.
Oh, actually, I was
Oh,
looking at Brian. He
I'm
was.
sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead. If you want to talk about it. I mean, we had a meeting on it.
Somebody
Right.
talk about it.
Well, obviously, this is the budget we reviewed and went over in the last time, or the last meeting. If you look at it, it's all broken down, all the individual funds, everything's out there. Overall, this is an actual reduction from the previous year of almost $100,000. So while it looks like we're spending a lot more, we are spending smarter, whether people agree with it or not. We're also reducing our costs overall. We have made a significant improvement in the health of the general fund, thanks to now city manager, previously finance director. There's a lot of good decisions been made, a lot of good information been passed, and a lot of good actions taken. So again, my appreciation to Jamie for that insight and advice, and I think it's done us well. So we're on a good track. The community's coming back solid. I think we're on a good roll.
Mr. Axiotis, did you have anything?
I was going to reiterate what he said, basically.
All
We
right.
had a meeting on it, we talked about it, we had a meeting, everybody could have weighed in, so.
Okay.
That's self-explanatory.
Please.
Just ditto to all that, but I'd also like to say I really welcomed the superintendents coming and talking to us, and I would appreciate that happening more often, just to hear, their fields of expertise and what's going on in their departments and their needs and wants and, so. But I do appreciate having that part for the budget, but I'd like to see it happen more often.
Okay, sure. Sounds like a plan.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Next, we have ordinance 2025-54. It's an emergency ordinance rescinding ordinance 2021-02.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Rufner, Ms. Benitez.
Please.
If I'm not mistaken, this ordinance that we're rescinding was the ordinance related to the sale of the electrical transmission assets made previously, obviously, in 2021. We've had some people come up and speak about the concerns. My mic on? No, my mic wasn't on. Is this better? Yeah. So anyhow, this is related to the sale of the transmission assets back in 2021. We're rescinding it due to the fact that obviously a lot has changed since 2021. And I know some people have came up and spoke tonight in support of it and against it. And I just want to reiterate that this did go to the voters at one point, and they did approve for us to explore the sale of those assets. Also, to weigh in on a lot of concerns that I've spoke to so many people about is the cost of utilities in this town. People are very concerned about their pocketbooks. The sale of these transmission assets to AMP Ohio, which, by the way, we're a partial owner of. So we're literally selling the assets to kind of ourselves. We're going to get money that can be used in the electric fund that will prohibit us from having to borrow that money. There's assets for these transmission lines that are gonna need repaired, that are gonna force us to borrow money, and you will pay more on your electric bill. So you can't really have it both ways. AMP Ohio, by selling these assets to them, they can actually make money off those assets. The contract that I think we've spoke about, we were, aware of what kind of things that might be contained in it. One of the provisions is that we could buy it back at some point if we wanted to. So it's not even that we're selling them and we'll never get them back. If we want to buy them back, it's an option. But as for a good thing for the citizens, it's a fantastic thing. We don't really get any benefit from owning this asset, other than paying for it and maintaining it, but no real benefit. So if you want your utilities decreased, selling this is the smartest move we can do, because at least we can maintain where we're at for much longer than having to raise the rates. If we keep this on the books, electricity is going to be way more expensive here. There's just no way we can borrow money and eat the cost. So for me, rescinding this ordinance is the first step. Second ordinance is further down is the explore the sale. But if you want life to be a little better in Newton Falls, we have to explore this. Because if not, it's gonna get worse. There's just nothing we can do about it. So you gotta decide that, really.
Thank you, Mr. Axios. Council, Bob,
Through
please.
the chair, at first I was, not happy about selling transmission lines, but then I spoke to, a couple other communities such as, Steve McKevich at Niles. He said it was the best thing they ever did. They got quite a bit of money for it. Their employees are still working, and everything, so it was the best deal for Niles, and you gotta take a picture of Niles. Niles is 19,000 people. We're under 4, or around 4,000. So we would actually be getting a lot more money than what Niles got. And also our workers will still be there working, day to day. So I just think that it's a no-brainer. But if the voters want to vote on it, then, so be it.
Please, Mr. Ripken.
Okay, so getting back to the actual rescission of 2021-02, the reason for pulling this off and rescinding it is none of the information in this ordinance is still valid. Everything is 5 years old. None of the numbers are right. None of the data is right. The purpose and way in which the money was intended or scheduled to be spent, as Mr. George alluded to earlier, is not appropriate based on what it is. So, this has to come off the books before we can move forward and look at pursuing that option. When we get to that one, I'll save my other comments. But the reason for rescinding this is to open that door. One, this is no longer valid, does not apply. We have to do it to move forward, so.
Thank you, Mr. Ripken.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
and Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
And I believe this requires a second reading.
Ordinance 2025-54. It's an emergency ordinance rescinding ordinance 2021-02.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Rufner, Ms. Stemper, Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner.
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
All right, we have ordinance 2025-55. It's an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Stemper, Mr. Exiotis, Mr. Exiotis,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stemper,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
Yes.
Please.
I talked with Pam Heilman today and also with Jamie. There's an error in this ordinance. If you look at section 1, it says the council hereby and herein authorizes the transfer of up to $15,000. I would like to make a motion to amend that to say up to $34,000. And that's for the recommendation of Mrs. Heilman and Ms. James.
We cannot amend if we've already voted.
Put on the floor?
We just voted on that, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
We must, if you want to make an amendment, it must be before we take the vote.
Was there a error in
There's
Was
an
there
error, yeah,
clerical
it says
error?
15,000,
Yeah.
it should have said
the,
34.
does the,
Yeah,
does
the
the,
exhibit is the correct amount.
okay, so for the law director, the Section 1 of ordinance 2025-55 has a clerical error citing an amount of $15,000, and the exhibit has an amount of $33,583.70. How do we rectify this situation now that we've voted on the ordinance?
I would revote the first ordinance, noting that there was a clerical error, and then allow for the amendment. I think that's a minor blip, that particularly when there's an attachment that demonstrates the actual number.
Okay. So at this point, can we make a motion to amend even after
Motion to
we?
amend or reconsider.
I think either would work, but
Formally, we should make a motion to reconsider, then modify, then revote.
that's a good idea.
Are you making that motion, or you want me to? I screwed up the first one. You want to do this one?
All right, so let me get to the right one here. 55. All right, I would like to make a motion to, well, we'll have to add that at the end, right? Or can we do it now?
This would be, I think, just a motion to reconsider ordinance 2025-55.
Would it be reconsider or rescind, Mr. Aiken?
I think just we can.
I think it's the reconsider.
So I will make a motion to reconsider ordinance 2025-55 at this time.
Second that motion.
Mr. Rufner, and second by Mr. Axiotis. No discussion.
Do I need to restate due to the tip?
Why don't we do
Yes.
that?
Okay.
We have to approve the reconsider first.
Yeah, you can do it either way. We can make this a no discussion item. We already stated what our reason was for reconsidering it, which I can add to the minutes. That was Mr. Rufner. And who seconded it? Mr. Axiotis. Let's vote on the reconsideration. That'd be Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Yes, to reconsider. Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
And Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Now you want to,
Cut that off. Sorry, people.
timely? And now we want to make a motion to amend a motion to amend ordinance 2025-55, changing
Section 1 from 15,000,
the,
transfer up to 15,000 to transfer of up to 34,000.
in section, what section is that?
Section 1?
Section 1 to up to $34,000. Okay, so there's a motion to amend ordinance 2025-55, changing the amount of $15,000 in section 1 to $34,000. Do we have a motion?
I make that motion.
I'll second.
And a second by Mr. Rufner. Any discussion?
I'll just apologize for the craziness. Sorry.
Make sure I get this right.
Actually, I have an issue.
Please.
Did anyone read this transfer of funds? Because right now, the way it sits, it's titled as a regular ordinance, but under section 3, it's saying it's an emergency. But nowhere in the agenda does it say it's an emergency. So what is it? And I might want to weigh in and say as well that I got this draft agenda. There were numerous mistakes. I had to try to address what I found. They were corrected, but even some of those made it, there's still a lot of mistakes in this agenda as final agenda for today. Like, I don't know why there's so many mistakes, but this is pretty sloppy. And I don't want to, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying it's pretty bad.
Yep,
This one's like one of the worst.
yes.
So I don't know how to fix this. You're saying it's an emergency, but it's not an emergency. So what is it? And should this just be tabled till the next meeting?
This is just for clarification, this is just a normal transfer of funds, correct?
It should be, yes,
So it is not an emergency.
not an emergency.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to strike Section 3 from the emergency reference from Section 3 of Ordinance 2025-55.
Okay. So we have two motions on the floor. First motion is to, let's take Mr., I don't know if, do we have to go in, can we go in which order we want, or can we have to take them both, take them in the order that they were made?
I think the order they
Okay, so the first motion is to amend the ordinance, changing the amount of $15,000 in section 1 to $34,000. That was made by Ms. Stimpert and seconded by Ms. Rufner. Is there any discussion on that amendment? Let's go ahead and vote on that. Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. We now have an amendment to remove section 3 from the ordinance, which is the, emergency clause, made by Mr. Rufner. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Stimpert. Any discussion there? Rufner, Ms. Stimpert. Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
And now, we need a motion to pass this ordinance as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Stimpert?
Second.
Ms. Benitez? Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Did I say Benitez twice? Thank you.
We are a hot mess.
Pass 5-0. And that should do it.
All right, next we have ordinance 2025-56. It's an emergency ordinance authorizing the village city manager to negotiate for the sale of certain electric infrastructure and transmission equipment owned by the village of Newton Falls in order to strengthen and secure the village's electric power infrastructure.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Stimpert and Mr. Burke?
Please, Mr. Axiotis.
Just want to be clear on this ordinance. This is just authorizing you to negotiate that there will be a ordinance following this once we've got the thing hammered out to sell, correct?
Correct. Right now, I have no information on exactly what those numbers look like, or any details, or any access to any kind of information, I guess. This is just to give me the ability to obtain that.
Okay.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. This requires a second reading.
All right, we have ordinance 2025-56. It's an emergency ordinance authorizing the village city manager to negotiate for the sale of certain electric infrastructure and transmission equipment owned by the village of Newton Falls in order to strengthen and secure the village's electric power infrastructure.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Stimpert and Ms. Benitez? Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. Ordinance 2025-57 was removed.
Right, yeah, okay, I was just going to ask if that one was struck. All right, thank you.
So our
Mr.
next
Rickman,
piece
no,
of
that's all right.
legislation is Resolution 13-2025.
All right, Resolution 13, 2025. It's a resolution expressing council support for the historic downtown Newton Falls signage project and authorizing the city manager to proceed with the final design and installation.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Exiotis, Ms. Benitez? Discussion?
Any discussion?
Um,
Please.
I would just say, I've had multiple conversations with some building owners in the historic district, our military branches, Jamie, and working on trying to come up with something that would be, it would look nice in our downtown area and not add to the busyness. There's a lot down there. I stood and looked, you got the signs and the banners and the lighting and stuff, and so we wanted something that was cohesive, but also very respectful of the historic area. I've shared this information with you guys. I've shared it with some of the business owners downtown. And so I would just like for us all to be on the same page and approve this so that we can get those signs ordered and get them placed up.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. Okay. The next is a motion to appoint Samantha Kropp to the Treasury Investment Board for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Exiotis and Ms. Benitez? Discussion? Mr. Exiotis?
Please.
He wants
Mr.
to say
Exiotis,
something.
yes.
Yeah, Samantha Kropp's been on the TIB now for, I'd say, almost a year, I think it is. She's been doing a great job, and she's very smart, very educated, capable person, and I'd love to see her continue on.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Mr. Exiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Stimpert?
Yes.
And Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. And the next is a motion to direct the clerk or city manager to advertise for the position of law director.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
That's Mr. Exiotis and Ms. Benitez.
Please, Mr. Exiotis.
Sure. I've talked ad nauseum with Jeff and Jamie about this. You know, my understanding is that the prosecutor job is quite a bit of work. Maybe it wasn't so much so before, but I feel there's a need to split the duties. And I know that some people had concerns about well, we should just get one. That's hard to find. You know, we had, when we went out and looked for Jeff, initially, I think we had 3 applicants for that position. 2 of the applicants, if I remember correctly, were pretty green, experience-wise. So, you know, I think for at least the city, right now, it makes sense to try to keep those split and trying to have those duties filled. Now, maybe get an amazing applicant. Maybe they want to do both duties. You know, we'll have to re-explore that. But right now, we have a need for a part-time law director for sure. And I think, you know, Jeff's done a great job for us. He seems to be doing a great job as prosecutor. I think, you know, right now, maybe splitting those jobs seems to make more sense for us going forward. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Pass 5-0. That's all for legislation.
That's all over legislation. Are we going to move on to public comments? And limit our time to 3 minutes.
Julie Lemon, 609 Ridge Road. Okay, I'm gonna agree with Mr. Axiotis on this. The work, the agenda was not even just a little sloppy, it was a whole lot of sloppy. Somebody did a really bad copy and paste job, and you can tell that's exactly what it was. This is business. This is our city's business, and it needs to be accurate. Not copy and paste. That's one. 2, this is an address for the police chief, the law director, and each and every one of you up there. You've shown your true colors. You sat up here meeting after meeting, with the exception of Mr. Axiotis, okay? Because he was he's against the speed cameras. He said it from the beginning. He sat there and said it was school zone only. The Board of Elections, per the Tribune article, see it? Election board okays fall speed camera referendum to vote. And you guys try to sideswipe, you taking advice from this guy? He's allowing you guys to violate your oath. Now, either you guys are willingly violating your oath or he's allowing it and that makes him complicit. This is enough. Council after council after council. You guys take an oath to uphold the charter and then you don't. There's excessive use of emergency ordinances. You guys do nothing that you're supposed to do. Go ahead, you can badmouth me, I don't care. But that cop right there, this gentleman right here, he lied. And you put it in the resolution. Because the ordinance you guys were going to repeal and then decided not to, that said school zone. But the resolution you guys were going to try to pass said, what? What did it say? Did you guys read the article? Limbian stuck his foot in his mouth. Says it's being done by ordinance, it gets to the board, the agenda comes out, it's done in a resolution. You guys can't do a contract in a resolution. Read the charter. Read the charter. And just so you know, since you seem to be dimmer than a broken light bulb, I filed a complaint with the Grievous Committee on your ass.
John Baryak, 660 North Canal. Look, it didn't come up tonight, but in a way it did. You know, if we're gonna start selling off our electric department, I presume, I don't know, somebody have to tell me, is that money going in the general fund? But as soon as we start selling off, why don't we do this? Why don't we get rid of the electric department? Why don't we get rid of the water department and sell it to Aqua, Ohio, because we're gonna need major improvements over at the water plant. How are we gonna get that? What can we sell off? Part of the, sells the bulk water or something? Doesn't make any sense at all. Now, I don't have a lot of time tonight. This Blue Line Solutions they said that they were gonna get 80 to 85%. Well, that's not true. I've checked with other ones, and they say the majority of paying is about 40%. And this Blue Lines is gonna charge us $25 no matter whether we get the money or we don't. And also, we're gonna be stuck on the hook to defend one if somebody, it's not a real good thing. No, it's not the big money maker. I don't know what Mr. Bill George is here for. He moved out to Jackson Milton. I've lost all respect for him because he knew when we ran that line out there from 534 out to the Route 5, and you were there too, Mr. Rufner, that we were supposed to annex. We spent a lot of money to go out there just to get we're making this and making that. I want to read one thing real quick here and we'll go. And I'm going to give this to the law director. I was prepared to come up tonight because I've done my homework, hopefully. If the petition has been validly filed and the Board of Elections has certified the referendum, the Council General may not unilaterally rescind the ordinance to avoid the referendum. Under Ohio law, the ordinance is suspended and must be submitted to the electors, or else a valid legal basis must exist for withholding, substituting the measure. Newton Falls Charter likewise reserves initiative and referendum to the people. State law, Ohio Revised Code, and we do use the Ohio Revised Code when our charter needs some help. We go back to the ORC if we have a gray area. We always resort back. A valid petition is filed with the statutory window. The ordinance is suspended and the petitioning process is triggered. The Board of Elections has had a ministerial role in certifying petitions and placing measures on the ballot. That statutory framework limits a legislative body's ability to simply repeal or sidestep the referendum. I have here, and I'm going to present it to Mr. Librium. Here's 370.
Your time.
731. Can I finish?
How much?
731.
Shut up and give
29.
Mr. Liberty.
I would have had twice to speak on it if you wouldn't have canceled it. And 731-31, here it is. This is a state. I wanted you to see this, Mr. Librium, if you'd like to look at it, because I don't know but the main thing out of the whole deal, you people have thwarted the public that you were elected to serve's right to weigh in on whether they want it or not. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, because you're elected, you think you run a...
Point of order, Mayor.
I'm just telling you. No,
Thank you.
come on.
Leave it on the podium, John. Thank you, Mr. Boriak. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share with us here tonight? Ms. Charlotte, please. Thank you, Mr. Boriak.
Thank you.
Charlotte Simmons, 365 Warren Road. Good evening, all of yous from Newton Falls. I come here tonight for the residents of our community in concern for the way council is operating. And I am really appalled at what you guys are trying to transparent and do. You people think that you have our voices and you can take away our votes. Well, that's not happening here. It was ruled that we are allowed to go out and we are allowed to collect signatures for the right to vote, and it was unanimously voted on that we, the people, will vote. This is our city, and we still have the liberty of the freedom to speak, along with the right to vote. And none of you will take that away. But sometimes I have to wonder, maybe you guys have a little bit of beans and cornbread in your head, and it's not done yet. Well, I can tell you, it's never going to get done. It's never going to rise up to what the people will do, and they will rise up and they will fight you to the end. And all of you are lying, and we, the people of this community, we are the citizens that just want to provide for our families and to be able to pay our bills. We don't wish to be rich like others. We only want to survive. God bless the citizens of Newton Falls, and especially thank you to all the citizens of 161 persons that signed the petition. It has been clarified. The Board of Election did it. Get it through your head.
Thank you, Ms. Charlotte. Anyone else?
She's coming.
Good evening, Ashley Bailey Morgan, 2630 West River Road. I have been living here in Newton Falls since 2017, and I would like to say that I love this town and I'm proud to call it home. However, I would like to point out the problem that I have with the sidewalks of our community. Being in a wheelchair, it has been difficult for me to move around because of the condition they are in. I have fallen in my chair so many times, and I would appreciate if this committee would take in consideration the safety of the people, especially the kids, elderlies, and people with disabilities who need to use the sidewalks. Thank you, and have a blessed night.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to come up here and yell and scream at you about something you guys didn't actually have on the agenda. If it comes back on the agenda, I'll come up and speak on it, and I hope you guys maybe get some feedback or decided against what you had maybe intended to do. I hope that you guys will always make the right choice moving forward. I mean, everybody's human, so you're going to make bad decisions from time to time. But with that being said, when those types of things happen, or when there are issues that the public is upset about, or people feel very strongly about, openness, honesty, transparency, discussion, all help those things. If everybody's willing to speak up, open their minds and speak out about what they feel or what they believe based on information that they have or the data that supports whatever position they have, that helps, because then there's something to bolster your position with, as opposed to just ramming things through and voting on things without sharing any information or giving the opportunity for people to speak on those certain topics. So I appreciate you guys taking and pulling those things off the agenda, because I do believe that clearly there are quite a few people that are pretty upset about those types of things and oppose that type of a decision. And again, I'm thankful that you guys pulled that off the agenda. I said this before and I'll say it again. I appreciate these types of meetings. I think you guys had a bunch of stuff on the agenda tonight and a bunch of things to discuss. I think it's only been about an hour and 20 minutes. That's not the normal for what we've all experienced over the last however many years. And I continue to see this, and I continue to appreciate and thank you for having discussions and conversations and giving each other the opportunity to talk, and not getting sucked in or drawn into anything beyond that. And the last thing I'll say is, and this is going to sound silly, but Jeff, if you could let us know what that video was that was on your phone earlier that played and you couldn't get to turn off, that would be awesome. I'd love to know what that was. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Kropp.
Matt Evans, Electric Superintendent. Thank you for rescinding that. First off, that was what needed to be done, and thank you for passing the ability to explore the sale of the transmission lines. I don't know how to explain it to people who don't understand it, but selling off utilities is not the right thing to do. But selling off pieces that don't make us money and cost us money is what needs to be done. You hit it on the head. I mean, there's no other better way to explain it. I can't follow that. Mr. Burke, you understand. Niles, it's not just Newton Falls. Niles, there's many communities around it that are doing it. We, as a municipality, don't have the ability to make money on it. AMP can, and AMP will invest in this community. They will make updates to this community, which are endless, just the possibilities we can go through. As for Bill George, I thank him for coming tonight. He put over 20 years here. His opinion weighs in greatly with me. We talk often. I think it was great you came tonight, so thank you. The last thing, to kind of squash this Facebook thing, the banners and the flags, the veterans banners and the downtown flags, we don't own those banners and we don't own the flags. The flags go through the American Legion with Joe Ball, and the banners are purchased through private citizens.
You're fine.
You're good.
That wasn't.
And we coordinate that as the electric department with the school, Mr. Bogus, for the Veterans Day program. We just don't say, you know, oh, hey, let's make everybody mad and pull everything down. It doesn't work that way. These kids get the banners, they have to set up a display, they put strings through them, they make a great program. To any veteran out there or resident, I highly suggest you go to the program at the high school. It's a great program, they do it every year, and they present these banners to the people. I've kind of tried to answer some questions on Facebook, but people, they get so upset. So just to clarify, we don't own them, we have no say when they come down, the school lets us know, and then the American Legion, who own the flags, they get them back every year. So again, thank you guys, great meeting, and if you need me, I'm available.
Anyone else tonight? I will move on to closing remarks. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and participating in good government and for being civil and good listeners and good speakers, in spite of it being a full moon tonight and having a time change this week, which I think we're all feeling a little bit of a drag on here. So thank you all for coming out and sharing with us. I'll turn it over to council. Mr. Axiotis, sir?
Oh, I got some words to say. So even though, you know, the ordinance to rescind ordinance 2025-40 was pulled off the agenda, I'm a bit appalled at the fact that it was even on there in the first place. These people went out and collected signatures, so they had the ability to referendum it and vote on it themselves. And somehow, some way, the people here, some of these people up here, sitting here tonight, thought that they should not have that right. That is appalling. You know, you might have a representative form of government, people elect us to sit up here and make decisions, but when they go out of their way to ensure that they have a voice to actually vote on that, and we try to thwart that, that is appalling. That is just, I expect better out of the people sitting up here. That stuff might have been done previously, it should not be done today. A lot of us ran on those kind of things. Now, at the end of the day, we don't even know. That could have, it's gonna go to the people, they're gonna vote on it, and maybe they want those cameras. Maybe at the end of the day, it stays the way it is. But for us to actually try to go against that just strikes me as shady and terrible. I can never support that. Let the people vote. If they want it, they want it, and if they don't, they don't.
Right on.
I think also going forward, if it is, it sounds like it's gonna be to the voters in 26 at some point, if they decide they don't want cameras in the school zone, that should stop the rest of council pursuing putting them in other places as well. The people spoke. That's the way I feel. Like I said, I'm extremely appalled by seeing that even on the agenda tonight, and then the resolution trying to be passed, which would allow cameras everywhere, is shady to me as well. Not only that, it was a resolution, which, in my opinion, we're signing a contract that should be an ordinance that is a money spend. And if anybody spent time to actually read the attached contract, it is a terrible deal for the city. Yes. It's terrible. It could literally hamstring us for 5 years being responsible for paying BLS a bunch of money. There was no guarantee in that contract at all that we would collect a penny. But what it did guarantee is that they would collect.
Right.
So even if people decide they want speed cameras, we should be exploring other companies and contracts. I do not know where it was Blue Line Solutions chose, because I can tell you right now, it wasn't by us. So I find that a little strange, that somebody else chose that and we were expected to run with it. So with that being said, thanks guys for speaking out. Congratulations, Mr. Crop, on your win. Congratulations, Julie, on yours. That's all I got.
Ms. Pat?
Okay, I can't stop that. All right, I'm just happy that the people in Newton Falls voted for the school levy. You know, I had my doubts, but I'm glad they came through on that. And hopefully, when the time comes to vote on the police levy, we'll say that also. I know everybody doesn't like the police. Too bad. I don't like everybody. It's okay. Yeah. But I want to ask a question. You don't have to answer it, okay? But if someone was breaking into your house, okay, they had a gun, are you going to call your neighbor? Or are you going to call the police? Think about that. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pat. Ms. Julie?
Just my standard, the November Fire Board meeting will be November 18th at 6 o'clock. And I forgot what I was going to say after that. I'm done. Fine. I'm good.
Mr. Burke?
Yeah, through the chair. I'm grateful that the people went out and got signatures. I just want to tell you, though, where I live in East River Garden neighborhood, there are a lot of young families that walk their children to school, and they do tell me that while they're walking their children to school, that people are going through that school zone at like 45, 50 miles an hour. And now, if the voters vote for the cameras, it adds an extra element so the law enforcement officers can focus on the more serious crimes going around in the neighborhood. Because we do have a lot of other crimes, and I can't speak on them. I can't tell you what's happened until it becomes public. But there's been a lot of serious crime activity, and by putting that officer at the school zone all day or during the school hours is stopping him or her from providing services to the rest of the residents. When the sheriffs were in town, many times when I leave for work early in the morning, they sat outside the city. When I got to my office, I would call the sheriff and say, can you make the cop go sit in the middle of this town, because that way his response time is much better. I had to do that over a dozen times when we had the sheriff. We spent over $700,000 on that sheriff. So we need our officers to go to those crimes, the domestic violences, the drug abuses and things like that, and take care of that. So the young families that are in my neighborhood walking their kids to school don't come to me every other day and say, Bob, there's cars going 50 miles an hour. By having that camera, it's a behavioral thing. People do slow down because they see a camera and signs. But I'm glad that people got signatures, and you know, that'll help, because once people realize and go sit out there, you'll see the activity that's going on. So, but the police department is doing an amazing job. I just want to let you guys know. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Mr. Rupner, would you like to add anything tonight?
Just real quick, first Friday of the month, it's late night in the falls. Some of the local businesses will be staying open extended hours Friday evening, so if you're out and about, stop in, cruise through, and see what kind of bargains you can find. It is getting to be that season again, so that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Rupner. Do we need a motion to recess into executive session tonight? All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Axiotis and Ms. Stempert. Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Ms. Benitez?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
And Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Passed 5-0, 7:35.
No executive session. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
In there, right?
take my garbage.
Good job. No one leaves trash behind.